Good morning, everyone. So it is Friday, yay, last day of the week. And here's a little marker board I got. On Monday, we'll be using that a lot for math. But today, we are going to be going over reading strategies because today we are going to be going through our ELAR choice board. So I did try going live. It did tell me that it needs to activate my account for 24 hours before they authorize me to go live. So hopefully next time I'll be able to go live. So let's look at our ELAR choice board. So remember, with ELAR and with math, you're going to need to do, let me move this a little bit. You're going to need to do 5 of these squares. 2 are must-dos that you have to send pictures of your answers. Have your parents send them to me. You can send them through email, remind, text message. All of those are fine. And then you can choose 3 other ones to do. So let's talk first about your must-dos. So your must-dos for ELAR is you're going to be using your My Book. So your My Book on page 308, you are going to read the story, Willie B, A Story of Hope. Okay, and then you're going to, after you read that story, I want you to read it first. Then I want you to pull out your selection quiz. Just let me show you your selection quiz. So read first, then get your selection quiz. And just like we do our reading strategies, you are going. So here's our selection quiz. So remember, selection quizzes are only 5 questions. So it's really important that you find your answer in your story. So read the story first, then I want you to read your questions, and I want you to code them. Okay, read them and code them. If you want, you can read and code them first before you read the story and label them. Either way. But if you choose to read it first, I don't want you just doing the selection quiz as soon as you finish. If you choose to read it first, you need to code your questions, then you need to go back and read it again. Okay? So if you're someone that you really feel like you want to read it first, then do your quiz, that's fine. Maybe you want to read it now. I sent home an HMH login. So what you can do is you can log into that, use your login information, and it will read the story to you. So you follow along. Even if it's reading the story to you, I want you following along. Code your questions, and as you get to them, go back and answer them. So when we do this in class, we listen to the story first and follow along. Then we go back, we code our questions. Then we read the story again with a partner, remember? And we look for these answers. So if you want to treat this like a reading passage, I would suggest coding the questions first, then reading it or listening to it as you follow along on our website. So just like when I show it in class, you can listen to it and follow along. You can do the same thing. But there are only 5 questions, so you need to really take your time and use your strategies. Code your questions, find your answers in your text, and underline them. So that's the first must-do. The second must-do is our reading passage. So this is the reading passages that we do on Thursday, remember? So on Thursdays, we like to do reading passages. With this reading passage, you know your strategies. You do not read the story first. So reading strategies for a reading passage is first you look at it. You look at if there's any pictures or any text features. I don't see any in here. So you're going to label it if you think it's fiction or nonfiction. Okay, you kind of look at the title. Then what I want you to do is kind of divide your passage. You know how I like to do. First few stories, then we're going to write a summary. Next few paragraphs, then write a summary. At the minimum, you should have 3 summaries, okay, for the length of this passage. But you're not going to read it first. With reading passages on Thursday, we code the questions first. So let's look at these questions. Read the sentence from paragraph 1. So if you're doing this correctly, you should go to paragraph 1. At the very end of paragraph 1, write question 1. Because when you're done reading paragraph 1, you need to answer this question. And it says, in the pre-dawn darkness, the little dog scurried onto the steamship. Think about the Latin prefix pre, okay? Pre means before, okay? Think about the word prefix or prepare. That means before. So what do you think the meaning of pre-dawn means. So this type of question, this is a vocab question. You can use your dictionary, you can use word replacement, whatever you like. So look at the answer choices. Pre-dawn. So if you don't know what dawn means the very beginning of the day. Dawn is the very beginning of the day where the sun comes up, and dusk is the very end of the day when the sun is going down. So just using those, if I know pre means before, and I know dawn means the very beginning of the day when the sun comes up in the east, look at my answer choices. Before sunrise, through the night, without light, or not known. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a pretty obvious answer if we think about what those two parts of that word means. The second one is a short answer. So with your short answers, make sure you are putting text evidence. So you can't just have the answer. This is a two-part. You get the answer correct and you have evidence from the story. It says the author begins the article with a description of Oni scurrying through the steamship. Explain how this description helps to bring the character of Oni to life. So when you bring a character to life, anytime I'm reading a story, there's certain authors I really like because it helps me make mind movies in my head. So it helps me picture the person. So what did this author do to bring really the description of Oni to life, make you really visualize it? And then it says use details from the article to support your answer. So you're going to write how they made it come to life, and then you're going to give me examples of what that looked like in the story. Okay. Number 3, read the sentence from paragraph 2, and here it gives me the sentence. So where am I going to put question 3? Right after paragraph 2, and I'm going to come and answer this question. What does the author's word choice in this sentence suggest to Oni? So you're really thinking about it. It's an inference, because what do you think the author was thinking? What does his word choice mean? You're making an inference, you're drawing a conclusion, and those are very similar. So it's okay if when you code them, sometimes they can overlap with each other. So you're going to read in this story, what does it suggest about him? What does it say about him and his character? And you're going to choose from those answer choices. Number 4, read the sentence from paragraph 4. Where does number 4 go? At the end of paragraph 4. At the end of paragraph 4, you come and answer number 4. Which word is a synonym for abroad? Okay, remember synonym. Synonym means a word that has a similar or same meaning. So you need to know what abroad means. If we don't have our school dictionaries with us, if your parents don't have a dictionary for you at home, you can Google. There are online dictionaries that you can look up abroad. Okay, a synonym for abroad. If you study abroad, you're studying away from your country. Away. So think about a synonym for away, not at home, abroad. Okay? Oh, there's a very obvious answer choice. Read the sentence. So number 5, read the sentence from paragraph 5. Again, this needs to be right after paragraph 5. It helps us not to get kind of overwhelmed with the passage, especially if you struggle a little bit with reading longer passages, is every time you see a question, go answer it. Every time you see where you wrote question 5, go answer it. If you wait to the very end, it's possible you could get some of those mixed up. So, what did the details suggest about the relationship between Oni and the postal workers? Okay, so be very careful with these. These are asking you a very specific question. What does it suggest, so an inference or a drawing conclusion, about their relationship? I guarantee all of these answer choices are things that happened in the story, probably. But only one is going to be about their relationship. So it's really careful you underline what exactly it wants, because they like to put details that were absolutely in the story, but only one talks about their relationship. So for example, let me read the first one. Although the postal workers loved Oni, they realized he needed to be free. Is that about their relationship? So that's what you're going to ask yourself over every single answer choice and find the one that fits best. Number 6 says which sentence from the article states the author's feelings about Oni's travels. So same thing. These, I'm not sure where it happens in the story, but when I'm reading, if I code them first and I'm reading for a purpose. And if I find, oh, it's talking about how they feel about him traveling, then that's where I'm going to pause and I'm going to come try to answer this question. So how does the author feel about Oni's travels? So same thing. These will be absolutely probably details from your story that are in your story. Only one will be about how the author feels about Oni's travels. Very specific. If this is not about his travels, it's not your answer choice. Okay? So that's where we need to read for purpose, and we need to be really clear on what they're asking us. And then the very last one, which sentence states the theme of the article? Remember, theme is the main idea, what it's mostly about. So you find your best one. What is it mostly about? What lesson was the author trying to teach me? What was his true purpose for writing this article? So that's what you really want to look like. You should not be able to answer this until the very end of the story. You need to write at the very end of your passage, question 7. Okay? So those are your 2 must-dos. You've done both of those activities before. Like I said, we try to really keep activities that you really know how to do and you've done every single week in class for you to do at home. But as always, you can always comment and ask questions. You can always have your parents reach out to me if you have any trouble with it, and I can help you. So some of our other choices that you can do is our decoding. So this would have been in our literacy centers. We would have talked about our spelling rule, our Latin root. So our Latin root, it says read each definition, then add the correct Latin root from the word bank to complete the sentence. Okay, so let's look at the first one. A blank, ER, a person who carries traveler's bag. Is it a porter, a dictor, a rupter, or a specter? Well, I know port, okay, root word port means to travel or to carry. So for me, that would make sense that a porter is a person who carries a traveler's bag. So you can absolutely use a dictionary. You can use your online dictionary. You're just filling in from that word bank the ones that make sense, okay? And you can even Google those roots and find out what they mean, and that will really help you decode which one of those fits best. Your next square is your online research. So you can choose to go online and research gorillas. And you're gonna write a report on the most interesting thing you found about them. So if you do choose to write a report, I would like the report to be at least a page. Give me some facts, give me a little introductory, stating your main idea, but what you think is the most interesting thing. And then once you get your main idea, you need to have some paragraphs with supporting details that relate to your main idea. And then a little short closing, okay? Not a huge report, you're not writing pages and pages, just a 1-page report on gorillas and what you found interesting about them. You could also choose to make a persuasive poster convincing people to donate to zoos that help gorillas. So be sure to use coaxing or influencing points, trying to get them, try to persuade them of things that gorillas would need. So first you would have to find out what gorillas need, and then you can create a persuasive and influencing poster trying your purposes to get people to donate to a zoo for gorillas. So that's another choice. Your grammar pages. Your grammar pages are going to cover apostrophes, and they're going to cover commas. So remember, apostrophes we use to show possession, to show something belongs to something else, and commas we use when we read a story. They either separate items or they create pauses in your sentences, in your writing. So there's an explanation on each one of those pages on how to do that assignment. If you struggle with those, let us know, okay? After you read your Willie B. Story of Hope, one thing you can do that we always do in class is our collaborative discussion. You say, but Ms. Trink, I don't have anybody to collaborate with. Mom, dad, brother, sister, maybe FaceTime one of our classmates and collaborate and do those questions on our collaborative discussion. You could also, if you want to do something hands-on, you could do a diorama. So remember, a diorama of a habitat that Willie B would love, a diorama of a habitat, is you can use a shoebox, you can use something that just shows like a model, like in science when we create models of things because we can't create the real thing. That's what you're doing. So you can get creative and create a habitat for Willie B, the character from A Story of Hope. And then the very last one that you can do is that writing that comes after. Some of you guys choose to do it during literacy centers. This writing is a movie summary. So they give lots of paid instructions. You use the prompt. You have planning area. You have a place to write some sections. And then you write your best movie summary. So if Willie B. Story of Hope was a movie, how would you describe it? So anytime, I know this is before y'all time, video stores, there used to be video stores and you go and rent a DVD or video and you would turn it on the back and it would have a short little paragraph summary about what the movie was about. And you would look at it and then you would decide, oh yeah, it sounds like something I would like. Okay, that's the same thing. Same way if you go online, when I go on Netflix and they show me things that they think I would like, well, if I click on it that says info, it gives me a short little paragraph, a summary of what that series or what that movie is about. That's what you're doing. You're summing up what that story was about. And that's what people, so you decide on what you would like to write. Your other things for ELAR that are different from science and social studies is you do need to be reading a book of your choice for about 30 minutes a day. Okay, it's going to keep up with your reading. I know we don't have AR, but it is important to read at least 30 minutes a day. And if you read Willie B. A Story of Hope, guess what? You did your reading for 30 minutes a day. If you read very carefully The World's Most Traveled Dog, and you really took your time and did that, that could be your 30 minutes. But also find a book that you really like, that you really enjoy. I really love, and I tell my students this, and you guys know this, if I had to read romance books, I would be miserable. It's just not what I like to read. I love to read either scary books, suspenseful, or mystery. That's my genre. That's what I like. When I read for pleasure, and you should be reading for pleasure because it will help you in everything you do. Read a book you like, a book you're super excited to read and you can't wait to see what comes next. If you haven't found what that is, maybe look online. There's tons of audiobooks. Mr. Job sent a handout with Overdrive. So Overdrive is an app you can get on your phone. My son has this. And it connects to the Victoria, our public library. So if you have a library card for the Victoria Public Library, all you have to do is enter your library. You click download the app, click on it, click find our library, and you can enter your library card number and you can check out books from your phone, from your tablet, from anywhere. So that's what my son does. I like paper books. I like to hold them. I like to read them. I like to put them down. He likes to read off his phone. So he has the Overdrive app and he checks out virtually books from his phone. And so you can absolutely do that. I know we can't go in the library right now, but you can absolutely still read and read from your phone, read from anywhere. Your other thing that I really want you to do is at least do your literacy, your language literacy, and imagine literacy and language for about 30 minutes a day. Okay, maybe do it first thing in the morning. Could do your 30 minutes, log on to it. Each week I'm going to be looking at and creating reports on who I see. I can remember when we log on, and remember when I checked reading logs, I can see how many minutes you've been on Imagine Language and Literacy, and you would receive credits for that for your reading logs. I really want you, I'm going to be looking every week and seeing, I want at least 30 minutes a day if you can. If you can't do 30 minutes one day, do maybe 45 minutes the next day and 45 minutes the next day. But try to keep up with your language, Imagine Language and Literacy. Same thing for math. When we go over math, I'm going to ask you to do those things. So those are your ELAR assignments for this week. I know it seems like a lot. I went over science and social studies yesterday. Take it a little at a time. So what I'm telling my daughter, what we're doing, because you guys know Mila's in 4th grade, is we're going to do one square from each choice board each day. Okay, so today she's going to, we're going to do the parade at 1. But when we get back, she's going to choose one ELAR, one math, one science, social studies to do. It should not take her that long. Okay, think about how long we're in school. If these are 30 minutes a day, that's an hour and a half. We do that work before we even go to snack. We have snack and recess. So try to keep the same schedule. If it helps you, definitely keep our same schedule. So our same schedule was you come in, you do some morning work. I would suggest doing your Imagine as morning work. Choose to do math, choose to do language literacy. Do some morning work. Then let's do some math. Let's just do one math square. Work out our math square, work on it. Something we know how to do until Monday when I go over everything. Something we know how to do. Lone Star is one of ours. You know how to do Lone Star. Do a page of Lone Star. You do it every week. Then give yourself a recess. We would normally have snack and recess. Give yourself a snack, give yourself recess. When you come back from your break, go run outside, jump on your trampoline, do some jumping jacks, do something from the PE and choice board, because there's lots of fun things to do on that. Then do your science square, okay? Choose one thing from science, work on it, okay? Then guess what? Give yourself lunch. After lunch, what do we do after lunch? We do ELAR. Actually, we do pride time. So let's say you didn't finish some math. Go back and finish some math if you didn't get it done. If you want to go straight into ELAR, go straight into ELAR. So when you go into ELAR, you're going to choose one of those and work on it, okay? Then what did we have after ELAR? We had literacy centers. So you can either choose to do another ELAR square, or you could do your 30 minutes of reading, or you could do your Imagine Language and Literacy, whatever works for you, okay? After ELAR, what came next? Social studies. So you can choose to go ahead and read your magazine, maybe code your quiz questions, work on that, work on your crossword, whatever you want to do. So first step I would say is really go through these choice boards and choose what you think will be best for you to do. What would fit best in your schedule, okay? Talk to your parents about what you want to do and see what they think, okay? But the must-dos must be turned in to me, remember, not this Sunday, but next Sunday. So you have all this time. Do you have to work on Saturday and Sunday? No, you do not, if you're able to get your work done during the week. I know Mila needs a little more time, so we are going to do maybe a square or two on Saturday and Sunday. We may do some of the fun squares, like the social studies and music and art squares. But definitely reach out if you need any help on anything. On Monday, we are going to go through the math. I'm going to do one video on all the choice boards for the math, and then I think because of the length of it, I'm going to do a second video just on the unit assessment. Okay, so we'll be going through the questions. I'm going to try to figure out this weekend how to do my phone if I can't get the computer to do right, but try to create it almost like I do a document camera where you can watch me working out the problems and we can actually see the problems, and we're not just having to, I'm not having to show you like this, because that would be difficult, and it's reverse, and that may be confusing. So that's definitely what I am looking at this weekend. Figuring out, but I will definitely get it figured out, and we will make sure that it is all explained to you on Monday. So have a great weekend. Remember, I do videos Monday through Friday, but if you need something on Saturday and Sunday, have your mom or dad call and text me. Feel free to comment and ask questions below. And I hope to see y'all on the parade. So we will be driving around on the parade. It starts at 1 o'clock. So if your parents haven't showed you the route, look at the route, and we're gonna be coming around and waving. Don't come to the car. You're staying there, you're waving. We're showing you our love from a distance and still being responsible. So we hope to see you all this afternoon, and I will see you on a video on Monday. Bye.